On the outside, the world saw Shawn and Andrew's relationship as the epitome of #couple goals. But behind the scenes, things were far from perfect. Long before they were comfortable sharing their lives with the world, Shawn and Andrew were struggling to navigate a devastating miscarriage and were drifting apart. Shawn was looking for an outlet to heal, so she asked Andrew to do something they had never done before, to let the world into their relationship as they navigated their grief. By the time their first daughter, Drew, was born, they hardly recognized their relationship, and the intimacy they once had was practically gone. They decided to start dating all over again, had their second child, Jet, and found their footing. Today, their intimacy is back, and they say better than ever. On their podcast, Couple Things, they share tips on everything from setting boundaries to dealing with postpartum struggles so other couples can find their way back just like they did. Please welcome Shawn and Andrew East to the show. Thank you so much. I love what you're doing with this podcast and the openness that you've shared. Shawn, you had something on Instagram where you said how it started and how it's going, and you showed Andrew's proposal of when it started as a couple and how's it going. So the question is, how's it going at this point?
It's going great. It is absolute chaos in our house because we have two babies, basically both under the age of 2. But that moment was really special. We actually got to go back to the Cubs for the first time since he proposed. And when we were there, we actually had our 2 babies with us, which was such a pinch me moment because so much had happened over the course of the time. But it was really special because we just kind of looked around and we're like, we have 2 babies. We've been married almost 6 years. Where has the time gone? But it was really special.
I love that pinch me moment. We were in Chicago recently, and it was the first time I had a chance to take Moses. And I thought, when I moved from Chicago 10 years ago, I was single, I wasn't married, and now I return with my baby and my husband. And it's easy, Andrew, to compare life then versus what you have now. And that's part of what you talk about on your podcast, putting this whole journey in perspective. Was it a tough sell to say, okay, we want you to talk about everything that's happening in your life from the proposal to the bedroom? Because I found that hard to do. I'm going to be honest. I'd be like,
Yeah, we definitely try to share our experiences with other people in hopes that, we're learning something and other people are as well. We definitely don't have it all figured out, but to try to just share our experience has been so fun. We definitely still have boundaries on what we can talk about and what we don't. We like to figure issues out between us before we share them with the world, but we have a lot of fun doing it.
Okay, you say that there are boundaries. In a show, you talked about you said Shawn getting pregnant was the best thing that happened to your sex life. That's not a boundaries. That's openness, I'd say.
Maybe our boundaries are very gray.
Shawn, you said it. He said it.
He said it, yeah. I don't know. I feel like the reason why we started the show and the reason why we started the whole social media world was coming from professional athletics. Everything looked so perfect. Yeah. And we got so tired within our relationship of the world painting just this perfect picture. When no relationship is perfect, nobody is perfect. We all fall flat on our face and have such a struggle in life on different topics and things. And we felt alienated that we actually had struggles behind the scene.
Wow.
But when we started sharing them, it seemed like everybody in the world had the same struggles. And so when we talk about issues, we do have boundaries as to what detail we can go into. And we try to keep some things to ourselves. But
I like that you don't. I like that you put it out there. I mean, I know that Jet was born in July, and one of the things, Shawn, you discussed is how having the second baby set off insecurities and triggers as it relates to your relationship with weight and how you see yourself and your body image. And you did struggle at that point, at a very happy point in your life.
Yeah. I remember feeling really guilty about that too. I went through a ton of eating disorder issues and mental health issues within my professional gymnastics career that I worked many, many, many years to kind of, I don't want to say get over, but be able to have control of. And with the natural weight gain and body changes of pregnancy, I felt all of that kind of creeping back in. And I felt like my husband wouldn't think that I was attractive. And I would look in a mirror and not think I was attractive. And I really struggled with that. But we work really, really hard every single day at learning to communicate. And even talking about those issues makes me feel like maybe he won't like think I'm as attractive or desirable because I have these flaws. But it's actually in sharing those flaws that we somehow find a deeper connection.
Right.
And it ends up working out better.
Well, and it came at a pivotal time in your life, Andrew, as well. Here, Shawn needed you as her husband to support her emotionally, but you were also struggling with your mental health and discussing that because oftentimes, rightfully so, here she's just had the baby. A lot of women understand that, and you want that support, but you were dealing with your own battles as well. Did you feel like you were showing up for her in the way she needed?
Probably not always, to be honest with you. But I did just try to show up and learn through repetition what she needed and how I could help her in whatever way possible. But yeah, trying to accomplish this lifelong goal that I had of playing in the NFL took me 5 years to finally get there. And I learned over over the 5 years how kind of fragile my mental state was. And ultimately, Shawn was patient enough to be able to show up for me and help me through that time where I was just like extremely anxious. And she was so patient. But now I'm trying to do the same for her.
Yeah. Sex is only a small part of it. You're going to spend 90% of your relationship not having sex with your spouse. Mm-hmm. So if you can't figure out how to navigate the 90% of life you're going to live not in bed, then sex won't work.
Wow, we are back with Shawn Johnson East and Andrew East, whose podcast Couple Things is helping couples get, I guess, a balance in what the expectations are in a relationship. So Shawn, you said 90% of the time you're not having sex. That's a high amount.
10% of the time?
Yeah. I don't know if it's a lot or a little.
I don't know. Tam, is that a lot?
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot. But I don't know. I'm guessing here. Well, you have 2 kids under the age of 2. Exactly. Yeah. Someone said in our live audience that you're lucky you got 10% time to do it.
Yeah. Maybe that's exaggerating. I don't know. But the whole point of that, that topic that we were wanting to discuss is we kept getting asked all the time on social media. I don't know why people want to know this, but they really wanted to know our sex life. And it was kind of like, okay, I think we're putting too much importance on that when there's so much more to talk about. And if you don't have the intimacy, the conversation, the connection, the relationship outside of sex, then you're never going to have sex. And for us, we focus so much on trying to make sure we have that connection to where, whether it's 1% of the time or 0.5% of the time, whatever, we actually are able to enjoy each other and enjoy that connection with each other.
I think people ask you about it because they're looking for advice, and we don't want to feel like we're on an island. If we're struggling with it in our own lives, we hope that others are, and maybe we can learn.